Hi and welcome to a video from PyLibrary. In this video we'll be introducing resources that the library doesn't have. That's because industry information and trade journals are usually either free on the internet or only available within corporations or industry societies. Let's start by talking a little bit about what trade journals are. A lot of your research so far at CBU has focused on academic or peer-reviewed articles, which appear in academic journals and are often written by researchers for other researchers. They tend to be very technical and focus on scientific or even theoretical advances. Trade journals are different. They're like news articles written by journalists for an audience of anyone in a particular industry, not just the scientists and engineers. These articles are meant to be useful to marketing and planners to show the applications of legal, business, and technological change, and also innovation. Trade journal articles don't have many footnotes, if any at all. Often, the articles are written from press releases the company provides, and the writers usually don't look very deeply into the claims the press releases make. That said, the trade journals are invaluable for staying up to date with industry trends and promising new technology. In previous courses, you may have struggled to find good academic journals for your research. With trade journals, you'll be faced with a wide variety since most industries are served by multiple titles, each catering to a niche or just competing with each other for readership. Now let's go looking for a good trade journal. Finding trade journals starts with Google. Simply put in the industry you'd like, along with the words trade journal, or even looking at what specific aspect of the industry that you're looking at. This is going to take some experimenting. You might want to try some searches that are broad, and then ones that are narrow, starting out looking at entire industries, and then focusing on specific elements of that industry, such as manufacturing or processing. Today, for an example, let's use the potato industry. So we'll type in potato industry trade journal and click search. There may be more trade journal results here than you were expecting. Let's just look at one of them though. Let's look at Spudman. Here on the Spudman website, you see there's a lot going on. This main page gives you an idea of what kinds of articles these trade journals will have. You see there's some technology news, market reports, and sometimes there's some legal articles. There's also some ads right up front, as we see here on the right side. Let's find a good article. Let's use this Potato Storage 101 article. Now we won't really get into depth in this specific article, but if you read through it, you'll learn a little bit about the companies in the potato industry, the kinds of technology they're working on, and where they think the market is headed. As we can see here, there's typically not any diagrams or equations. It's all about how the industries are applying the technology and how they're interacting in the market. And that'll be typical even when there's a lot of technical information. That technical information will be directed at application. If we search within a trade journal, that can be done in a couple of ways. The most straightforward way would be to search on the actual site using the page's own search function. So we can go into their search and type in something like chemical, and you can also put in the name of a process or model number or a person, really something that's not as broad as chemical, but today let's just use that for an example. When we click on search, we see that there's a lot missing from these search results. Some of the tools that we're used to aren't there. We can't reorder them or narrow them down using some filters like we see in some of the library databases. Another way to access a site search is through Google. Let's try that. So we're here on Google This is a bit of a process, but it's a great way to use Google for site searches. Let's search the Spudman site again, but through Google. Put in site:/spudman.com, and then our search term chemical. Search, and we have a long list of results, but currently we have no sorting available. But if we go up here to tools, we can narrow down somewhat. We can narrow down by looking at a specific date range. Let's say we want articles within the past month. Some results have returned articles on Spudman with the search term chemical within the past month. So narrowing down like this can be quite helpful, especially since businesses don't always have good site searches, and putting the site search into Google can be much more efficient and customizable as well. Figuring out whether a trade journal is better or worse than another is honestly a challenge. Which of the 24 potato journals that we saw is the best one? Well, as you progress in an industry, you'll find out which journals people are talking about and rely on those journals. If you're not sure about the relative reputations of two trade journals, such as Spudman and SpudSmart, just approach them like two newspapers. Both of them are credible sources in general, although one might have a different tone than another. You might be able to tell from reading them where their differences lie. They might be from different parts of the world, for example. Remember that most of them are getting their news from many of the same sources. One bit of advice: if you're interviewing for a job, make sure you track down trade journals in that industry so that you can display some knowledge about industry trends and be able to place yourself in the industry conversation. Journals aren't your only source of information, but certainly give them a look. If you have any questions about finding or using trade journals or any other resource, please feel free to contact us. We're more than happy to help you. And thanks for watching this video on trade journals.